So Kelvin Grove itself is still a community, but the other streets at the back of me, Winstay, going up to Gwydder, or just before Gwydder, they're all empty apart from one person living in a property. So that community is gone, and it's affected local businesses as well, who were before resigned never to sell their property, but have found that because they've got lack of people and, you know, coming in to buy from their shop, their business has been, you know, seriously damaged. So they've started to sign up with the council to say, yes, we'll move. We've never got into negotiations with the Liverpool City Council or any agencies connected them like 2020, and mainly because we just weren't interested in any offers. You know, just can't see the sense of knocking down or wanting to knock down solid houses, and the properties here will, you know, be standing if refurbished to a good eco standard as well for at least another 100 years. I live in Kelvin Grove, in one of the old houses, because it's a mixture in Kelvin Grove. And in 2004, I went to a public meeting about regeneration and was told that my house, the whole street and the whole area called Welsh Streets was going to be demolished. There has been a campaign to stop it. It started after that meeting. When we got back, everyone was talking on the street, and I met loads of people I hadn't met before, so we started to have meetings, and we formed a residents group called the Welsh Streets Home Group, and then people from the smaller houses and the different kinds of houses right up through the demolition zone, they heard about us and they started to come to the meetings as well. We started off writing to the council, just saying, we've got other ideas, would you consider refurbishing some of the houses? Because we were told by the council that the decision was made to demolish the houses because we had asked for it. And when we went out and asked the people who lived around us, we found it quite hard to find anyone who had asked for it. The Mirror, the Sunday Express, the Sunday Times, the Guardian, all the big papers started to pursue the story. It's like I don't have any way of buying a house on the price they would want to sell one to me. Because you could say, oh, well, let them buy a house off you and pull it down and build a new one, and then you'll have a new house. And but I wouldn't have £200,000 to buy the house with, so I don't want to get into debt. I don't earn a great deal of money. But also, I just really don't like waste. It felt very much that people had been dishonest with us, because they kept saying, oh, you all wanted this, and then when we showed that everyone in the area didn't want it, they just reran the ballot, started paying people to leave, and then when you've got empty houses next to you, it becomes more tempting to leave. So gradually the area emptied, and when they just did that quite aggressively till they got a majority, and then they could go, oh, the majority of people want this now. So it was partly like, you're doing something wrong and I don't like it, I don't like the dishonesty of the situation, but mostly it's the economics of it, really. When they said they want to pull the house down, I did start getting the property magazines and the auction papers and all, and I looked, and I've been looking for a house like this, which, if I just describe it, it's got a bay-fronted window, it's very light, it's got 5 bedrooms, it's got a cellar, it's got a sunny backyard, it's got a sunny roof so I can generate power using solar PV off the roof. I've looked for a house like this in Toxteth, which is the only part of Liverpool I've lived in since '93, and there isn't any, because I've pulled them down already. Sarah's teenage daughter had to leave home because when her triplets were born, there wasn't enough room for her. She sat and watched these 5-bed houses being tinned up and wasted, whilst her daughter had to go and live with her nana. Well, it used to make me feel anxious all the time and have nightmares and not be able to sleep. And also because everyone knew about the campaign, everywhere you go, people go, how's it going with the houses? So you'd be in the co-op or you'd be in the park and we couldn't get away from it. And then when you come home, you can't get away from it because it is your home. So whilst the campaign's been going on, realising we were in a battle with local and national government, I've still been throwing stuff away and packing boxes in case they do succeed. And so it's like this really weird double life of thinking they could win, I need to be prepared for that, we could win,
I need to be prepared for that. So that's been quite hard, but I think I've just got used to it. The situation has changed so fast that I'm not quite sure what to believe now. Why they can't just say Kelvin Grove will be refurbished makes me think that they're still planning to come for us, to pull us down eventually, but for the time being they're just saying option appraisal. The ladies on the Granby 4 Streets have been in option appraisal for about 13 years. They asked to have the houses refurbished, and they're just chewing them off with the bulldozers now. So the answer to what's happening now is we still don't know. I'd say it's definitely been managed to decline, yeah. Because when I moved in, this whole street in 1999 was sort of fully occupied. There was 2 empty houses and 3 empty flats. And the guy that lived next door was paid to leave. Yesterday I found out it's £20 million has been spent emptying the houses and maintaining them tinned up like this. They rent the tins every year. We're paying for tins on empty houses. And at the same time, there's people with nowhere to live. So I'm actually so angry that I don't even like to ask myself that question. How do I feel about it? Because it's very, very wrong. And I don't criticise anyone for wanting a new house or wanting to leave. I absolutely agree with that. They should have what they want. What I say is they don't have to have it on the piece of land where my house is built.